Well, hello and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and TechAdvice.life video interview. I'm joined today by Thomas Sluka. He's one of the creators of highly innovative display company CREAL, which has solved one of the major conundrums of displaying augmented reality. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Alice. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for taking the time. Now, I haven't come across CREAL before, but you're here to introduce the company to us. So let's start at the beginning. What is augmented reality for those, everyone's heard of it, but just in case, what is it for those who don't know? And what are the current problems in displaying augmented reality to people's eyes?
What is augmented reality still doesn't have 100% clear definition, but it's already kind of converging to, it's a medium which places the digital content into the reality. So you see the reality directly, not through the screen, and you can see some digital content that is in the context of the reality. It's not just like a screen; it's really part of what you see.
I always like to explain that it's information overlaid on top of what you're seeing. So if you looked at the Terminator movie, there's this green text coming down next to a picture of Sarah Connor, or you go to a friend's party and there's some people that you remember meeting some years ago, and right next to their faces comes up the name of the husband and the wife or their kids or some other information that's like your digital memory bank, and it depends what app you're running. It's probably the party app, but there's a problem in displaying this, which CREAL has solved. So what is the problem?
The problem is that you would like to have it kind of a fully 3D. And I will get back maybe to the definition, because if
Sure.
you have just some pop-up window, some textual information, that's at the edge of augmented reality. What I would like to see, or I think everyone would like to see, is that small things in your own hands, or like this Snapchat, that you really put something in the context, and this needs to be displayed correctly. It needs to be displayed, it needs to look like your own hand, and that's the problem. Practically all displays and all products which have these displays on the market display a flat images. It's 3D for two eyes, or can be 3D for two eyes, but for one eye, it's a flat image. And the problem is that your eye works like a camera lens. So when I focus with one eye even to my hand, on my hand, you are blurred. And that's exactly how the content appears today. So, I'm trying to touch you, or me, I see myself as well. And I really don't. I see that hand sharp and you are blurred, or I can change it, but it's impossible to display them both together. And that's the problem. Consequence of it is that if you look at it too long time and your eyes are really confusingly focusing on the content on your hands, that's kind of very unnatural behavior of our eyes. And that's what makes people feel sick. It's called the vergence accommodation conflict between vergence and accommodation. This is the focus. And that's what we solve. We create image that is correct, that has the focus depth.
Now, there's a video that you've prepared, and I'm going to overlay some of that vision whilst we're talking, so people can actually see during this interview exactly the quality of the graphics and what that depth looks like. But what is the CREAL solution in your words?
So the technical term, I would say, it's a retinal light field display. Retinal basically would like to say that we provide the image just to the eye. So it's a near eye display. And the light field is a existing term from before. And we use it just because it's kind of closest to what we do, but we were often recommended to try, kind of think of some another term. Light field is basically image that has the real world rays, not just a flat image where the display shines from exactly the screen, but shines like from a virtual distances, so including from here, while in the classical light field, the display is in some other distance. And so it's a display that provides many perspectives of the 3D scene, and then you really can choose where you stand or where you focus. And now I mixed already a little bit. The classical light field is used typically for a big screen. So you imagine you see your screen, you are looking from different angles, or there are different people, and each one sees a different angle of, let's say, object or the scene. But we do it all for the single eye or for the each eye, and the full light field is provided to the eye, to the pupil. So there is all the information is provided to the eye, and the eye is actually choosing the depth.
And is this
I hope it was sufficiently understandable.
well? Again, we'll have a video that is overlaid
Yeah.
over your description, and I mean from the video that people are looking at right now. I mean the effect is quite impressive. You can see it, and the graphics are quite real. Is this the same as a hologram, or is it something different?
It's different. Hologram really reconstruct the wavefront, the waves. And in theory, once you create a hologram or the light from the hologram, it's indistinguishable from the real world light in theory. In practice, it's far from that. You never reconstruct it correctly, and the holograms look not that good, not that real. And light field is like engineering approximation of the hologram. It's not the same. We are working like with the rays, light rays, but it's easier to make it good and sufficient for the human vision to experience the same, to experience what you would like to see from hologram, but you don't. And the light field can do it practically enough that you can make a product out of it.
Well,
Today.
it certainly does look impressive on the video, which again people should be watching right now. But and also there was a bit about this in this video that you released, which I'll have separately to this video, showing some of the technology in what would have been the stem of the glasses in the arm, some sort of projection technology there. But how does it work? How does the light field get projected, and then how do you end up seeing it?
Yeah, so again, I will say the classical light field basically means you have a many different perspectives. So you need to create kind of many slightly different images that represent the different angles. Okay, this like this. And we do these perspectives in a sequence. So we have a very fast light modulator, which is creating the individual frames. It's around 100 times faster than normal displays, like the one which you see right now. And these frames are creating the different perspectives which arrive to the eye through slightly different locations. As you know, let's say the left part of the eye should see slightly different perspective of the 3D scene than the right part of the eye, and so on. And this is exactly what we do. We provide these perspectives, and your eye is then creating that effect, that sharpness and blur effect, depending on which objects overlap on the retina and appear sharp, and which don't and appear blurred. So it's basically the speed of the frames which is allowing us to create light field.
And on the video, I mean, the little projection unit inside the arm of the glasses looks sort of very small. I mean, what is the processing power required, or the battery power that's required to enable that processor and the little projection system to project the light onto the lens, which I'm assuming is what your eye is looking at to receive the light and look at it from all those different perspectives?
So right now it needs, I will say exact number, but around 100 milliwatts. But for imagination, this is what was acceptable for the smallest smart glasses so far, and the battery can run basically 8 hours straight. You may not have it on all the time, but what is to say better on our system is the light efficiency. How much light we can get with a specified with a certain power to the eye, and here we are significantly better than the mainstream alternatives, the waveguide combiners, like 50 times better, which means we need 50 times less power to provide the same brightness. But of course, then there is a needed additional power for the processing and sensors and so on, which we don't really do. We do the display part. So our customers then combine it with with the other parts needed to have a full product.
And so, if you're outside on a bright sunny day, is the image still clear as though you were indoors, or is it washed out, or what happens with bright sunshine?
Yes, of course, you have the direct transparency. So the displayed images in the simplest configuration are a bit more transparent, and you need high brightness. So we can create very high brightness, like again 3,500 nits, while 2,000 is considered is the typical requirement for outdoor. But what everybody is doing that when you go out, you dim the light. There exist even the methods to do segmented dimming. Again, we don't do this other things than display, but I'm just mentioning it that's probably the solution which everybody will use. So instead of fighting with the full light, you dim it.
And so, to be clear, you're not making your own headset, you're licensing this technology to existing headset makers.
Yes, we basically design a display. We provide the reference design and the core components, and the manufacturing partners who can provide the other components and sell it to the manufacturers of the end products.
Now, in your media release, you talk about having this already being tested by various headset makers out there. And I mean, I'm guessing you can't discuss any of those partners just yet, but we've all seen footage of Apple's Vision Pro from the last few months. Tim Cook was mentioning it again at the iPhone 15 launch a couple of days ago as we're filming this. Can Apple's headset do something similar to what you're talking about? And or do you not know yet because you haven't had a chance to see the headset?
Well, we cannot be 100% sure, but like 99.9% yes, that it is still a conventional stereo headset, stereo 3D, which has the same problem. It displays just a flat image. We know there is a Sony micro OLED display that is just a flat, it's just conventional or pancake lenses. It's more or less the same like any other headset, just brute forced to perfection. So, better sensors, better processors, better display, and so on. But otherwise, conceptually the same.
Well, no doubt you're
Like other
wanting to.
headset, not the headset with the focus depth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to say, no doubt you're wanting to show your technology to Apple for inclusion in the future headset, but I know that even if you were doing such a thing, you couldn't say because, well, that's the nature of these these kinds of things. But it must be exciting to have this technology already in the hands of a number of manufacturers who are, looking at it. This leads me to the next question, which is how soon do you think this will be commercialized and ready for consumers to buy in commercially shipping headsets?
Yeah, I would say the fastest possible track from really delivering the reference design to a product would be like 10 months. But to be realistic, 2025 is that earliest year when our light field display can be in the product you could buy.
And so, what has the journey of creating CREAL been like? And are you still looking for further investment?
Yes, and okay, what was the journey of the of CREAL? It started basically like my personal negative experience with the 3D and VR headsets in all forms, like from cinema to seeing some anaglyphs on the screen to trying some first headsets. I'm probably or certainly more sensitive to the visual conflict than other people. I just immediately have like some pressure in the eyes. And so each time I just experienced this kind of unpleasant feeling, and it was each time I said, okay, the 3D, the VR will never work until this problem, the focus problem, is solved. I knew it because of that. And then I didn't see anybody working on a practical solution. It was either too difficult to make or the quality was not good, I mean, conceptually, and was thinking more and more about it until I got an idea. I said, okay, this looks like it's practical enough to deliver efficiently high quality light field image, build a prototype, submit it to patent, and then started making a startup. And during that time, already we were a few co-founders. We were super lucky that Intel and then later Magic Leap stopped their project here in Lausanne in Switzerland, and we could inherit the experienced team. So we started this around 6 years ago, and of course we are then still venture funded. Part of the reason is that augmented reality is not taking off, or even the virtual reality as everybody was promising and hoping for. It's simply way more difficult. So yeah, we are venture funded. We have, of course, some revenue, but it doesn't feed us yet.
And presumably you're still open to more investment by interested parties.
Yes, I would say this is also the field where, even if we were profitable, you need to pump some resources to simply gain speed. So
And,
yes.
and I mean, when you look at the name C, the letter C, and then real REAL. I mean, at first I thought it was CREAL. I didn't know, or CREAL. I didn't know what the acronym stood for. But is it just as simple as being able to see and then reality?
Yes, that was the original idea. In fact, the first domain name I bought, I don't know, 12 years ago, was CREAL 3D. I was looking for the names around 3D, about seeing and so on. But you can find there's a different meaning, like CREAL could be like a creativity, or surreal, like, or even the cereal is it's a breakfast, and we wouldn't be the first food name company in
Yeah.
the world.
So look, you were saying that there's a possibility we'll see headsets on the market with your technology by 2025. So bearing that in mind, I mean, how do you see the company and the technology evolving over the next couple of years?
Yeah. So our mission, really, the long-term mission is, of course, to create or to contribute to the full-scale augmented reality. It means, the AR glasses will substitute our smartphones, our laptop screens, everything. So the idea is that the glasses will look like today's glasses, so they'll be just normal. Most people have glasses already. That's that kind of a beauty of that.
Yeah.
And they will do for you everything you need. So first it will display display the content like a real object. So if it is a product you want to kind of preview, it's in your hands. You are on the street, this is showing you where to go. And of course, then it's powered by AI. So your omnipresent personal assistant. And I have very little doubts that this will happen. It's just kind of a more natural, more complete connection with the digital world, with the digital content. But that's really that far, far point. And what is, of course, difficult is everything before that, beginning with the state of the art today. So everyone is struggling to make a product that would really provide utility that justifies the price, and enough people can have it. So already the Apple Vision Pro may have a beautiful performance visually, even though you limit actually that focus depth. And you may see some instructions that it's basically meant to display still a flat screen somewhere in front of you, like just, everywhere. But it's still big and expensive, right? So there is a long way to go.
Yeah, well,
And
in Australian dollars, the Vision Pro is set to be about $5,000 Australian. I mean, it's going to start at 3,500, and then the little lenses you can put inside from Carl Zeiss are going to obviously cost extra. And I mean, everybody imagines that eventually it's going to be like this. And it's a long. I mean, Apple's Vision Pro is definitely not like this. It's like everyone talked about it being the ski goggles. So it's really great. I mean, human ingenuity is the one resource that the planet theoretically will never run out of unless humanity goes extinct for some reason through a nuclear war or something like that. And just to see these inventions and the creativity, and someone has a pain point like yourself, and comes up with the co-founders and the team to create something. It's really inspiring to see. And again, I've overlaid some of the video, and it looks really cool. I mean, just holding the finger in front of the frog there on that video, and there must be so many other applications that we can only imagine. You must be doing some great work with your partners who, it's like when you have an Apple event and they bring somebody on stage who's done something amazing with the iPhone. Behind the scenes, you must be doing the same sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, we don't really work so much on the content and applications. We work on the hardware, but there certainly are better applications than displaying frog in front of your face. It's only for your imagination. But
Yeah.
what it should show is that we are really enabling that visualization, that personal space. And unfortunately, this is not many people don't know that you can't really display correctly things up close with the existing display and existing hardware. So you really limit yourself a lot. And of course, there are a lot of like industrial applications or enterprise applications where this is necessary. That's all the medical world, or patients and organs are close to you. You work with them with hands. The same is in industry or building, whatever. You need to have things displayed up close, and that's really impossible. So there is a huge range already in enterprise to benefit from light field. And in fact, we have even, I think here the big challenge is actually to navigate in the space more from the business point of view and find the application where your product or your hardware or even the software has such a utility that people buy that. And in our case, it's actually in a vision care, in classical vision care. So, when you are trying to buy or have a corrective glasses, then we can find the prescription for you in the virtual environment. So you take the headset and we display you the different lenses, many at the same time, progressive lenses or whatever you want. And that's really impossible to do with any other display. So that's kind of that first niche we found. You find that it actually can be quite expensive. It can be quite big, and you don't need any app store for that. So, that's kind of that first problem we need to solve. And the next one is, okay, we want to sell more of them. So it needs to be a bit cheaper, a bit more robust, but still provide the unbeatable utility. So there is a many steps. A little bit, unfortunately, there are even many choices and we cannot choose all of them. So we have to really find the way a little bit bet on that.
One of the things that I've heard about over the years with virtual reality or augmented reality headsets is that someday they'll figure out how to put it into contact lenses. Now that seems extremely distant because I mean it's such a thin, small amount of area to have electronics in. But are you already dreaming up ways that you could maybe one day shrink it down to a pair of contact lenses, or is that just too far into science fiction to become science fact?
No, I actually wouldn't say it's a science fiction. If you didn't hear about a company called Mojo Vision, they did contact lenses with a display, but they had to pivot a few months back. I think not because it wouldn't work. They really were able to display simple information in front of you. It's more that it's difficult to make it practical. So, it's not a cheap thing to put it into your eyes. There is a battery. So, I don't like to put anything to my eyes, and maybe case of many people. And then the display, still, you need to feed it with the data and power it, which actually requires glasses
Yeah.
anyway, to power it. And then there are a few scary things. So, yeah, it's moving with you. That would be maybe okay, the image, but you see the image even when you close your eyes. So
Yes.
I saw, that yes, you actually can make physically contact lenses, which are like AR, simple AR, but then you don't have the market. So I would say like spies and politicians, which really need to disguise that display, but that's probably not big enough. I see that kind of augmented reality provided by glasses may stay very long time with us because uh, you may say that the next step is not the contact lenses, but the direct computer brain interface. But the augmented reality is a computer brain interface, one directional. Eyes are the main input to our brain by far. If you try to plug, electrodes or whatever to other places, it was not built for it. The eyes were built for data acquisition. There is a huge part of the brain just to analyze the input. So And the glasses are really perfect, unobtrusive way to provide the data. So I think that once the AR hardware, the glasses are, sufficient, they're really good, it will stay for a very long time with us. This is, of course, only input. So the other thing is how to provide information back to the machine. We are not really solving that.
Now, before I get on to some closing questions, is there anything else about CREAL that we need to know that we haven't already discussed?
CREAL or any company is a group of people, and we are not a big, we are like 25 people, but what I think we've managed to build the team compared to its size is often overlooked. I see it like, working like five different startups, but what I'm mentioning it is that the gratitude to the team and to the luck we had, that, the big corporations, the Intel was working on AR, and we were able to inherit the the, the super experienced team. So yeah, the serial is a group of people with big muscles.
Now, I always like to ask the people that I'm interviewing, can you please share a memory of your first computer?
Yeah, in fact, I was actually quite old when I got my own computer. It was the period of transformation from where I lived. I'm from at the time Czechoslovakia, from totality to free market, and it was very difficult economically. So the first computers I saw were in the school, elementary school, and got my own only when I was 18, even though I was studying the high school, which was actually on computers. So I had the computers there. Uh, but I think I had what is maybe better memory is like the first internet that, just a few years back, I remember I have to go to library. In the library, I search for information by name, or, I have to have actually already enough, quite a lot of information.
Mm.
And it's so cumbersome to find a book, and then you cannot actually really search through the book. And the computer, it's like a day and night, right? Like you progress by a millennium forward, the search and search engine, of course. And this is what will be, oh, come on, it's just such an explosion, from it's a time travel within a year, right? Yeah, that was, I would say, the stronger memory than the PC itself.
Yeah. Well, the internet opened up the world, the universe. I mean, a
Yeah.
computer without the internet these days is like a DVD player without DVDs. I mean, we don't even use DVD players or VCR, video cassette recorders anymore. It's just all on streaming. But yeah, the internet just gives you unlimited possibility, and no doubt it would have been very helpful to you in your quest to investigate light field technology.
Yes. Well, in fact, I see it primarily as a communication device, not something to show you a picture, but to upgrade the communication we do today, right? Now we speak together, but I consider communication is like, you read a Shakespeare, so you see, you communicate with someone in one way from 17th century, and but you communicate also with the machines, so something which was created. And the AR is just that last mile of that communication interface. And today, this is the to pull something from your pocket, look at it. It's disconnected from your surrounding, apart from GPS. And AR will just make it kind of complete. And
Yeah.
communication was always a force for good in the past. Connected people, it unified the information, shared information. You don't have to remember everything.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah, the AR.
I was going to say in Australia we talk about the tyranny of distance because it would take so long for communications to happen. You could just imagine 200 years ago somebody waiting for a letter to be posted from one side of the world to the other. It could take months. And now, of course, you grab your phone and you send a message, and within half a second, you've got it. I mean, here we are talking live on a Zoom video call. I'm in Australia and you're in Switzerland, and it's like I mean, with augmented reality, it really will feel like you're in the same room as me, and I'm in the same room as you. So I look forward to
Yes.
that.
will be exactly like that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's only like the person-to-person communication. And it may have also the consequences in like you may not need to travel so much because you simply can substitute the travel virtually
Mm.
and it will be sufficient. So yeah, the consequences will be enormous. So we just need to do it.
Absolutely. And I think you alluded to it before, but what, because you were talking about not being satisfied with the sort of the 3D that you were seeing, but what was the experience of, or what was your very first headset?
Yeah, that's I actually don't remember what was the kind of a commercial headset which I tried first time, but I remember always whenever I had the possibility to go to see a 3D movie or exactly look at some anaglyphs or even this kind of a papers where you cross your eyes and something pops up, I just
Mm.
felt that's just like what's exactly missing in all the displays. That is not the 3D. And now I'm in the basic 3D. So I was always fascinated by providing the information more real, 3D, not the TV, not the laptop screen, 3D. And the headsets, I remember actually I was probably in a shop and there already were a few, so I was trying one after another. And the first one which I kind of used a bit more was one which I built by myself. But you can imagine it was like the cardboard. I took a phone, I found some pictures, or maybe even created some stereo pictures, bought lenses, and put it on my eyes. Say, okay, oh, that's really awful. So I had to do it really badly. But then I tried the other headsets, and they were equally awful in that kind of a pain, in that eye strain, which I feel. And that was more or less the moment. Okay, I can't. I want to use it, but I cannot. It's horrible. So it needs to be solved, and no one is solving it. So I have to solve it. More or
Well,
less,
I
that was the
mean,
mental process.
yeah. Well, necessity is the mother of invention, as they say. So you had a pain point, and here we are on the cusp of it being commercialized. And again, the videos look pretty impressive, and it's only going to get better from here. So I really do look forward to trying one myself when it's possible. Now, my second last question is to ask you if you could please share some of the best advice you've received in life to help you get where you are today.
Uh, so you told me this question before, and I was thinking about it, and the 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 closest thing to the best advice I can imagine is actually not from a living person, but from the first president of Czechoslovakia. He was a great man, and he first put on his presidential flag, "The truth prevails." And of course, like truth is a tricky thing, you can be convinced about things and they are actually not true. But that message behind it that, let's say the good things win. You don't lose if you are correct, if you can feel confident, no one can catch you on anything. So just to be correct, be right. And the second was very kind of the pragmatic. Don't be afraid and don't steal. So I would say, it can get you get much farther that don't steal doesn't make you a really good guy. But these were the kind of the basis which this guy said. And I said, yeah, just be correct and don't be afraid. Maybe I would combine these two things
Yeah, well,
this way.
have morals and have courage. I think is how
Yes, yeah.
you can shorten it, and that is definitely good advice, which we should all follow. So, what is your final message to the viewers and the readers, and to your current and future customers and partners?
Oh, thanks. I didn't prepare anything to say here, which is, it's a challenging question. I could say just have a nice day, everyone. No, I think I will only repeat what I said that uh, I don't see augmented reality as the gadget, that we will have just on my new display and I may use it or may not use it. I see, and I kind of bet on it, that it will be uh, indispensable thing, like a smartphone today. And the people should not be really afraid of that, exactly from the point of view that information, that communication, that those possibilities which it brings always went towards like a better life for more people. And this is what will happen. It will connect us. It will connect us also to the AI and make our everyday, affairs easier, better, and uh, we will become kind of a smarter because of that.
Well, I've always been very excited by the idea of AR, much more than VR, because AR overlays information upon actual reality, not a virtual reality that cuts you off from the rest of the world. I've seen lots of examples of it in science fiction movies and TV shows, but finally, we're at a point in real life where it's going to be coming to us very soon. So I do wish you the best of success. I look forward to trying one of the CREAL enhanced and enabled products, and I do hope we can speak again in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, and you're always welcome in Switzerland. I know it's far, but if you can. But otherwise, we are going to the trade shows, and we always try to be on the floor and show it to anyone who is interested. It's not always
Well,
possible, of course.
well, Thomas Luca, thank you so much for your time. And yes, I do hope we can meet again in the future. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.